In this video, we're going to do OCR A-Level Maths, June 2023, Paper 1, Question 8. My name is Sunil Tanna. I'm a tutor and author. I'm available for one-to-one tuition, both online and in person. I live in Buckinghamshire, England. Let's have a look. Question 8 says, A. Find the first three terms of the expansion of 4 plus 3x to the power 3 over 2 in ascending powers of x. So we're doing 8a, 4 plus 3x to the power 3 over 2. And we want the first three terms. Now, what we're going to do is use the binomial expansion formula. This will only work if this term is 1 and this term is between -1 and +1. So what we need to do is we need to take a factor out of this. So the way that I would do this is I would say this is the same as 4 to the 3 over 2, and then if we divide 4 out of that, we can say 1 divided by 4 plus 3 over 4x, also to the 3 over 2. Okay, and then now we can do the binomial expansion of the second set of brackets, and then here the first bracket, we can work out what 4 to the 3 over 2 is. So 4 to the 3 over 2 is 4 to the half is 2, the square root of 4, and then cube that to give 8. So we're going to have an 8 outside the brackets, and then we're going to do our binomial expansion here. Since I'm only going to do the first three, I'll say it's approximately equal to. And now we use our binomial expansion formula, which you should know it would be 1 plus n, which is the power here, which would be 3 over 2 times x, which is 3/4, times x, plus the next term, which will be n, which is 3 over 2 times n minus 1, which is a half, times x squared, which would be 3 over 4x squared over 2, and then so on would be the remaining terms here. So first thing I'll do is simplify the inside of the brackets here. So we've got 8 on the outside. Here we have 1, and if you work that out, we've got 3 times 3 is 9, and then 2 times 4 is 8, so 9 over 8x. And then the next one we've got 3 times 1 times 3 squared. Don't forget to square that, which will give you 27 on the top here. It's going to be an x squared term. At the bottom we need to think about carefully as well. 4 squared is 16 times 2 times 2 times 2, so 16, 32, 64, 128, and so on. And now we can expand out the brackets to get our final expression, which will be 8. If we times this by 8, it will be 9x, and then timesing this by 8, we could divide the bottom by 8, would be the same thing, which would give us 27 over 16 x squared, and that's the remaining terms. So that completes part A of the question. State when it's valid. Now, if you go back to the binomial expansion that we did here in the very first line, we had 1 plus 3/4 x, and 3/4 x needs to be less than, or the absolute value of that, 3/4 of x needs to be less than 1. So if we times both sides by 4, we will get 3x has to be less than 4, and then divide by 3. The absolute value of x has to be less than 4 over 3. Okay, part C says in the expansion of 4 plus 3x to the 3 over 2 times 1 plus ax squared, the coefficient of the x squared term is 107 over 16. So what we need to do here is expand out, think about this, the second function here, 1 plus ax squared. So let's think about that first. So if we do 1 plus ax all squared, what we would do in increasing powers of x, we'd have the FOIL first is 1, we'd have ax times 1 and for the O of the FOIL, and 1 times ax for the I of the FOIL, so we'll have 2ax for the next term, here. And then the next one would be a squared, x squared. Right, now if we were multiplying this by this expansion, which is what they're doing in the question, which ones would result in an x squared terms? So the x squared terms would be 1 times 27 over 16. 1 times 27 over 16. These are all the x squared terms, so I'll put just x squared on the end here. We'd also have the x term times the x term, so 2ax times 9x, so that will be 18a x squared, and also we'd have ax squared times 8, so we would have 8a squared. That would be the x squared terms. And what the question was that we want that to equal 107 over 16. So we now know 8a squared plus 18a plus 27 over 16 is equal to 107 over 16. So we have a quadratic equation here that we can solve. If you bring everything to the left-hand side, 8a squared plus 18a, 107 over 16 taken away from 27 over 16 is minus 80 over 16, which gives minus 5, and that's equals 0. We can factorize this one. If you do a little bit of thought, it factorizes to 4a minus 1, 2a plus 5, 2a plus 5, because here we've got 4a times 2a is 8a squared, 5 times 4a is 20, minus 1 times 2a is minus 2, which adds together to make plus 18a, minus 1 times plus 5 makes minus 5. So now we can see the possible values of a is equal to a quarter, or a is equal to minus 5 over 2. And that completes question 8.